Hello everybody, here's just my third video today instead of my fourth. Oh god, I can't think. Right, so you join me at this slightly awkward moment. Don't forget to subscribe to this person. And I'm gonna get off there as quick as I can. And here we go. Please enjoy. Now get out. So, I think some of these have been put on backwards and some of them haven't. So, I think this was some of the D-Day stuff, or at least the British Army display. So, D-Day Churchill, Valentine DDs, normal Valentine, the Matilda one at the back, and a kind of armoured car. Same again there, that might be a Dingo. That's Matilda 2, the much better one. Lovely, but a bit slow. Valentine again. This got left out from one of the earlier displays. It got, it kind of broke down. There's the other Valentine. It got in the way quite a bit. Valentine again. I'm not good with armoured cars. Churchill again. Might be Churchill Flamethrower actually. Without the trailer. Matilda 1 going around. It's because of these that the soldiers managed to get off at Dunkirk. Those Matilda 1s. It's Matilda 2. They were excellent in the desert against the Italians until the Germans brought 88mm guns and decided to use them as anti-tank weapons. And then it rendered them pretty useless. But still, the Italians couldn't do anything. So, yeah. Yeah, it's Churchill Flamethrower. You can tell by, like, that bit there. Matilda, Churchill. French Panther in the background. Random picture. Matilda, Panther, Matilda, Matilda, Matilda. I think this is when it broke down. Just at the end. Matilda, Matilda, Matilda. Okay, Fury. Stuart. Let's get through it a bit. That's the Japanese Heigo that got brought over. I think it was from Japan. It's been very well restored, like really well restored. Don't know. Firefly. Oh, just a quick note. If anybody's wondering why they painted only half the gun barrel like that, basically, if a German tank crew, say a Tiger or a Panther or a Panther 4, saw the long barrel of a Firefly or a later, like of a 17-pound or anything like that, on a Firefly, Comet, or whatever, then they'd aim for that because that was a big threat. However, that meant that crews had to paint it camouflage so it looked like only like this half the barrel's there, like a normal Sherman. So then the chance of it being picked off first is lessened. That's not a word, I think. And then this may not look very camouflaged, but against the crowd it was really camouflaged. Let's just skip it a bit. Firefly. Here's all the D-Day and, you know, the random Heigo and the Chaffee. Is that trigger happy? No, Hemlock. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That was disgusting. Pardon me. Right, there you go. So all the tanks, the comet as well. Fury. Yeah, that's the thing. The tiger would have shot Fury first in the film. Spoiler alert. Because it didn't have the Firefly, the same as the Firefly's gun barrel. The comet as well. Then again, this was. I don't think it was D-Day. I think it was. Oh God. Just after D-Day. I'm so sorry. I'll get a bit further away. Oh, this was the final carousel around the arena. I'll wheel away a bit just in case that happens again. And yeah. D D D D D D D D D D D dun dun D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D Leopard 2 Leopard Jeopard, sorry. That was the Dutch one. The paratrooper display was really good. I couldn't get many pictures though because you were looking up into the sky and it was a bright day, as you could tell. Also, I don't know if you know about this, there was a fire just after we'd done these pictures of the Jagdpanther, the Stug. In fact, I think it was around about this time. There was a fire in one of the stalls, so we all had to be pushed back. This was the conservation centre. That is a rubbish picture. That's a bit better. Yeah, people, tanks, armed fighting vehicles, AFV, Churchills, Shermans, T-14s just in the background, armoured cars, a Stug, Panzer III, Sherman Firefly, Firefly's gun in more detail with the camouflage. Matilda 1, Valentine. There you go. Kettenkrad, Churchill, flamethrower. Maybe it's just machine gun. Scorpion, I dare say. Hetzer. Now, it hasn't had the gun taken out, that's just the, you know, that kind of down the barrel shot, like of tanks for pictures. Well, I tried to do that, even though it had that on it. Volkswagen Kubelwagen type Zweiundachtzig. Ah, there you go. That was the Morris Light Reconnaissance. That one at the front. Nope. There at the front. Yeah. That was inside the Hager. That is a Daimler. Might be a Dingo. I think it says Dingo. Valentine again. Yeah, it was a Dingo. So that's a dingo, I think. Well, Jeep, Comet. Tried to get pictures of the T-3485s. People were just all over them. Fury, Challenger 2, Fury from the back, 85 T-3485 from the back, Comet from the back, Mark IV, the replica one built for Warhorse, the film, A7V, replica from the front. That is a machine gun port on the Mark IV mail tank, that one, big brute, and that is it. Okay then, thank you for, thank you for watching. So those were my pictures from Tankfest. I might get the ones from Yeovilton done. Oh Lord. But yeah. Don't forget to go and subscribe to this person's channel. That's SEBBYSARKID. And there, yeah. Okay. Till then, see you later. Goodbye.